talking a little bit about the book of Lamentations, but I'm also going to be talking a little bit about the book that we're reading currently in the prayer meeting. And while you're turning to Lamentations, I just wanted to point out that that book is really extraordinary. And not only do we see different themes of suffering and sorrow, but we see glimpses of hope too. And Jeremiah had a way of representing himself and his fellow people in such an artistic way, and it just makes you really think about how perfectly God chooses each person who partakes in writing his word. And I wish I could get into a little bit about each of the different chapters and how they're composed, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that. So in this book, you see Jerusalem and how it was once a proud city, and it's practically dead at this point. And in chapter 1, you see how Jeremiah writes about how the city has changed. And the city was considered a great city, and they had feasts, and it was happy, and now it's desolate. And it used to be full of people, and now it's just full of calamity. And this has brought great sorrow, especially to Jeremiah. You can't read this book without really feeling that sadness for him. And it just kind of made me think about the prayer meeting that we had on Tuesday about how Michael Pickard talked about the town of St. Johnsville and how this town used to be booming. And one of the things that he had noticed was that the business owners were people of God, and how when he would grow up, most people were in church and they were supporting those business owners, and it was really a community full of people who were godly people. And it makes me feel sad for this town too, to see how we're not being invaded by the enemy, but this town that used to be booming, kind of like what we're reading here, it's no longer like that. And in chapter 2, Jeremiah recognizes the reason that all of this trouble has come onto Jerusalem, and it's because of the Lord's anger. The people have sinned against the Lord. And in chapter 3, you not only see a change in the writing style, but you see a change in the tone. For the first time here, you see that he is still writing with that sense of despair, but you see a glimpse of hope. And I'm going to read to you from chapter 3, 19 through 24. Remembering mine affliction and my misery, the woodworm and the gall, my soul hath them still in remembrance, and is humbled in me. This I recall to my mind. Therefore I have hope. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, saith my soul. Therefore will I hope in him. And this book teaches that the same God who is loving and merciful is the same God who will bring a hand of judgment down when he sees it right. And it teaches us to remember that there are consequences that come from sin. And I know you guys know the saying from Ecclesiastes that there is nothing new under the sun. And that's why we have books like this that we're reading in the prayer meeting. We are reading this on Tuesday nights, and it's about a revival in New York City in 1858. And it talks about divine grace and this surge in religion coming back all over again. But do you know what started this? It says right here, the autumn of 1857 was signalized by a sudden and fearful convulsion in the commercial world. That calamity was so speedily followed by the reports of revivals of religion and remarkable displays of divine grace. Now we see here that these people in this book went to God. And we see that what is Jeremiah doing? He's going to God. He's seeing the state in which the people are living and how horrible it is. And even today, we have people that do not complain about God, but they complain to God about the state of things. And when we really think about it, this is the glimmer of hope that we need to have right now. That this can happen here. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I feel like a lot of people feel discouraged and think that that could never happen here, and that is wrong. It can happen here. We have the pamphlet that says we want 1,000 people here in St. Johnsville to come to this church, and that is absolutely possible if the praying people get to work and get on their knees and pray. So right now when we think in 2023, not 1858 or when the book of Lamentations was written, but in 2023, we need to look out there and we need to see the state of the world. And we need to understand that it's bad out there, but we should be thanking God that it's not getting any worse, just like how Jeremiah was doing in this scripture. And let our prayer be the same one that Jeremiah had. And I'm sure that the same prayer that these people had in this book, let our prayer be this. I'm going to read from Lamentations chapter 5 to close it out. And it's 19 through 21. Thou, O Lord, remainest forever, thy throne from generation to generation. Wherefore dost thou forget us forever, and forsake us so long time? Turn thou us unto thee, O Lord, and we shall be turned. Renew our days as of old.